everybody. Dan Gresham here. Let me get rid of this music. Just want to give everybody kind of a heads up alert that we were coming back this afternoon, kind of talk a little bit about what's going on outside. Again, I'm Dan Gresham in my home studio today, and we are talking about a lot of different things that are going on. We've created this community. I just feel like it's a good opportunity with the weather for us to use it. I don't know what it's doing at your house. If I look a little disheveled, I've been outside kind of making sure all my umbrellas are down and everything around the house. Wind gust in Beaumont, I tried to check with our weather net in Beaumont. The top wind gust that I saw, and I'm not sure how accurate these are right now, to be honest with you, but I saw one at 37, I think. But I just had a really strong wind gust here at my house. But again, we're not talking about the kind of peak winds that you're going to have in the eye wall that we're seeing here in Beaumont. And I want to remind you again, one of the best tools you have at your disposal is KFDM.com. This is our live Doppler radar where you can see some of the rain that's going on this morning. But you know what I want to do? I want to depend on you this afternoon to tell me what's going on at your house. What's happening at your place? Anybody have any kind of street flooding that they're seeing? We've had good amounts of rain at my house. I don't have a rain gauge. Guesstimating, just looking, I would have to say we've had more than an inch, a couple of inches of rain maybe. Some water definitely standing in the street, not in the streets as much as it's standing in the alleyway near my house. I have a utility access alleyway, and there's definitely water standing there in the low spots. And there's water holding on the streets up against the curb, but I haven't seen any true street flooding where I'm at. So you let me know what is going on at your place. Now I'm looking at folks' comments, and I'm seeing pretty much Ann Gidry says, getting very windy in Orange. Mary Wofford is also watching in Orange. Chris is over in Port Arthur. Martha is in Beaumont. Christine says, in Silsbee, raining and windy. And Christopher Chose is kind of backing up what I was saying, very windy in Beaumont. But can you imagine, Christopher, if we're seeing 30, 40 mile an hour winds, what it must be like when you're at 110? It's hard to even imagine. Kelly Trevino says, very windy in Bridge City. Donna is checking in on us. She's not here, but she's got friends who live here, obviously, and wants to know what's going on as well. So again, I'm just curious if anybody's seen any kind of problems, as far as trees down or anything. Marie LeBlanc says, getting very windy on interstate heading into Orange this afternoon. Somebody checking in from Deweyville said, just windy. Joanna in Nederland saying the same thing, windy there as well. Lots of rain in Kuntz, says Shauna Pickard. Meanwhile, Terry Lynn Jordan said, just lost power here at MLK and Washington Boulevard. So that might be, could be wind related, could be some of these limbs coming down. Who knows exactly what's going on. But like I say, I have certainly noticed it start to pick up. Here's somebody saying the lights keep going off and on. So meanwhile, you look up Toledo Bend, somebody saying it's just drizzling up at their place. Port Neches, Janet says lots of wind there as well. Rainy and gusty winds in Port Neches, says Kay Pratt. And of course, you expect this. We are on, again, look at what we're watching here. And when Marie's post comes down, I'll show you, what we are watching here is, again, this is the storm. And now you see that circular part at the bottom of the screen. That is the eye of Hurricane Delta. And yes, let me also show you, somebody suggested this, and it is possible to do. There you can come in and you can actually, I can put an overlay in, say if I want to see the active tropical track, I can put that in and it shows what's going on. Let me move it out of the way. I'll close that out for you so you can see it. And it, actually puts in the points that are going on and the track of where it's moving. And you can see it kind of, this is normal. I mean, it's going to jog a little back and forth. Remember that cone? And we said that's the margin of error, one side or other, of the storm. So, you look and you think, oh, it's going to take off going this direction. Well, it's kind of jogged a little bit, but it's still within that parameter that was inside that cone. And you can see the cone there. It's kind of a little bit lighter gray. That's still there. So it could still edge off this direction. But here's Beaumont is located right here. I don't know if you can see it. And then there's Lake Charles. And then obviously Port Arthur, Orange, and accompanying cities there. You can see them all. Don't forget, you can back this up or you can push it in either way so that you can see what's going on. But if we back it up and we pull it down, you can see the pass track. Then I can move in and you can see how far this thing is reaching now. So Bon Weir, Alexandria starting to fill of this. And you can see how it's like centrifugal force just pushing these bands of moisture off and sending them spiraling out. So that's why you get these gusts, that will be pretty sustained for a while. It's like, wow, that's really strong. And then all of a sudden they disappear and then they're right back again. And that's probably what we can expect for the rest of the afternoon if you're watching here on the Facebook, unless, of course, you're watching in Denver, Colorado. In that case, probably won't be true. Aaron Lewis said, just blew my French door open. There you go. I think the strongest wind gust that I saw reported this morning, I checked with Dana, and he just left the studio not long ago. He told me 53-mile-an-hour gust in Sabine Pass. So again, it should give you some perspective. This is a lot more activity than we had when Hurricane Laura came ashore. You could have stood outside and there wasn't much to talk about for Laura. I was noticing that Angel San Juan, I'll take you over to our KFDM Facebook page, and there you can see Chad's last update that talking about it's now a Category 2 storm, winds at 110, moving to the north-northeast, and will continue that through landfall later this afternoon. He says we've had a gust to 60. So again, that's the gust that, top gust. Imagine adding 40 or 50 miles, almost doubling that wind gust. And that gives you an idea of what you're talking about there inside that eye wall again, which is where the highest winds will be reported. Angel San Juan, bless his heart, he's out in it this afternoon. I would just tell you there's probably not much need. He's talking, but you can't hear him. You might be able to turn the volume up here.
Now home, so basically
you can't really hear him because the wind is blowing so hard.
All this rain and wind, but again, it's not a serious impact.
It's a little better. I guess I
can
can hear a little bit.
But we are seeing.
But you hear what I'm saying?
Some of the bands of Delta.
Yeah, when you're trying to do that and you're holding your
sheets
phone
of
and then
rain
you have the
that
wind
we're
going
seeing
on,
in our area
it's just not very conducive. But I promise you, he'll figure out the technology once he sees that one. But yeah, you can kind of see some of the wind going on. He shot some video at some different places around town. This is obviously the port of Beaumont. Earlier today, but it was 30 minutes ago that he posted this. So it's been a while. Remember, too, you can always go to the Facebook page and you can post up, if you got a picture, you got something that's going on at your house, then, how we learn of things that are happening. People always, how come you didn't do this and how come you didn't do that? Well, sometimes you just don't know about it. So it comes down to you telling us. Hey, power is out in here, power is out in there. Reminder too, and let me do this real quickly, and you can watch. We'll go to Entergy, and all you have to do is just, you can Google this. Just put Entergy outages, Texas, and it will pop up, and it will say view outages in your area. Then you simply go down and you pick the state that you're in, and then it will pop up the coverage area. And we got some outages, but not a whole lot this afternoon. That's their entire coverage area. So if we push into Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange proper, let's see what we got here. Got a pretty good segment, it looks like, there in downtown Beaumont. Sorry. Trying to push it in there. And each one of these blocks will tell you what's going on. So there are 96 customers affected there at 1:43 p.m. is the outage time. And, it tells you they don't usually put a restoration time on these because, quite honestly, you kind of have to wait the storm out, see what's going on. You would not want a service person, up on a line while you've got rain and wind going on for, when you know that it's just going to be something you're going to have to deal with. Also, it looks like a pretty good block of outages there in Nederland. As we push in there, we can find out that there are 647 customers that are affected there. And again, no estimated time of restoration, but you can see the outage time was 12:48. But again, pretty sporadic, not widespread at this point. And if you look over even into Louisiana, not a problem so far. And again, every one of these stars can tell you something. There's one in Port Arthur, 7 people are affected, another one there. Actually, it's number of outage. So really customers affected, 786. So again, that's a great tool to have. That's Entergy's outage page. And again, you can just Google Entergy Texas outages. This will pop up and then you can go and manipulate it yourself. It's a real simple thing to do. As I mentioned, we have a network of what we call our WeatherNet, which are all these different monitoring stations that we have out. You can go and there's AA Ranch says they've had, but that can't be right. It says a wind gust of 6 miles an hour. Port Arthur 15. So some of these gauges are probably working a little more functional than others. I'm not sure exactly the situation there, but obviously you can see the temperature, and that's at kfdm.com. Let me look through some of the comments you folks are sending in this afternoon. Drew Mormon says, it's blowing severely, almost blew my door off my truck. That's pretty severe. Heber James says, it's gusty in Lumberton, and they've got rain. Emily Wells says, so far we haven't flooded, but my backyard is holding a whole lot of water. And I think that's going to be some of the situation. Flooding in some areas in Port Arthur, says Trinity Brown. Linda Grednigo says that it is flooding in Orange on Dewey Avenue. And Chris Hubbard apparently has some weather gear there. He says gust at 22, steady at 10. So it fools you. I'm telling you, I said that earlier this morning when we were talking. If you put somebody outside and you say, what's the wind gust? You always go over what you think it is. If it's a 30-mile-an-hour wind, you will swear that it's 50 or 60. So keep that in mind when you see these gusts and you think, oh, that's got to be 90 miles an hour. Probably not. Joe Moody says pretty good gust in Lumberton, raining steady, but not necessarily heavy. Jonathan Mouton says it's dry in Southwest Houston. Brittany, you're brave, driving over the Rainbow Bridge, not fun at noon. I would think it would not be fun. It would not be something that I would advise at this point. And again, we're not, the hurricane, the real center of the hurricane is not on top of us. It's actually, I'm sitting here looking at it thinking you are, but you're not until I do that. It's actually, and I can move that track map, but it is, you can see where the eye is, still offshore, but it is actually, to the south. But bringing in plenty of rain as well. Kimberly Sala says, my lights have been off since 8:30 this morning. Kimberly, I have no idea where you're at, where you live. So if you post that back up, let me know for sure. Jessica says, camper shaking in Beaumont. I bet it is shaking. I'm not sure that I want to be in a camper this afternoon for sure. I'm going to say morning sooner or later because I'm just so used to working in the morning. Sheila says, rain, small gusts of wind, my house in Lumberton. Meanwhile, Nikki Dearborn says, flooding on some streets in Hampshire. Cassie Buer says, intense wind in the West End. Somebody said in Vider, their yard was starting to collect water. Matthew says, I'm in Lake Charles. Matthew, I'd be curious to know what the situation is in Lake Charles. Are you guys, when is it taking tarps off of houses at this point? And I mean, I've got to think the further it advances, the closer it comes to making landfall, obviously it's going to pick up. Barbara Holland says, how bad will it become in West Orange? This will be a first time for me not to evacuate. Barbara, I have no way of knowing, exactly what the situation is going to be there in West Orange. I would suggest that you stay here on the Facebook page and also to KFDM. I feel certain Chad and Greg will both be doing Facebook updates. I just felt like it was, again, we've created this community for the morning for the Dan's at-home updates, and I just felt like I needed to check in and see how everybody was doing this afternoon to make sure everything's okay. Claudette Fuqua says, Alexandria, Louisiana, lots of rain, not hard rain, no wind gust yet. Everybody in the west end of Beaumont keeps saying, boy, it was breezy here. Allison Davis, lots of rain and wind for a couple of hours here in Mauriceville. Michael Bean checking in, saying windy in West Arch. Orange, Billy, Joe Nixon, my lights are out, and I'm assuming that's West Orange, WO. Winds have increased from 20 to 28 miles an hour off Major Drive near College. Water is ponding in my backyard, says Jan Dreyer. Now, I'm not going to go through all these. You know, you can go through these and catch up just like any other Facebook post. You can sit here and read them, respond to them, like them, whatever. Rachel Rivera, North Vider, rain, windy, no flooding on our road yet, but yards have pooling and ditches are filling up. Orange Street and Vider holding some water, not bad. Tori Rawls says in Orange, where she's at, the power just went out. And that's not to be expected. You put this kind of wind together with all the limbs and everything, if you've been here for any period of time, you know that's just what happens when you have these kind of storms come through. Amanda McCord said roads are getting bad and starting to flood in Vider. Didn't say specifically where. Someone said they have a tree down on 365 in LaBelle. Somebody else says raining hard. And again, let's go back. If you look at Doppler radar, let me go down and take this overlay off. We kind of get an idea of where the track is. So let me just go down here, and I'm going to take the active track off there and close that back again so that we can kind of see what we're talking about. And there's the latest Doppler radar. So again, there is the eye of the hurricane right there, Delta. And still offshore, still moving this direction. But you can see there's Beaumont getting some of that really heavy rain bands coming through, intense band there. And then if you were right here or right there, then you'd really know what strong winds are. Because I got a feeling when Chad's reporting 110, that's probably where you're getting that 110 at. But we are not really feeling that yet here. Well, we're certainly going to keep, an eye on what's going on and keep you up to date with what's going on. Someone said, Brittany Goff said, just drove to Beaumont from Kuntz for a grocery pickup. Very windy, heavy rain, headed back. While Cheryl says, wind picking up in Needland, blew over my metal lawn chair. So if you have things out in the lawn like umbrellas, that you left up on the back patio or something, probably not a bad idea, to take those down. Here's one, Scotty Ray saying, raining bad, lots of wind gusts, no electricity, water over the road, but doesn't say where. So Scotty, if you want to tell us where that's at, I'm sure folks would appreciate that. I grabbed my kids a while ago and took them, grandkids are with us today and have been, spent the night with us last night. For those who don't know, we have 9 grandkids. And so they're all here with us. And I opened the door and I said, okay, kids, I want you guys to see, what it looks like when you have a tropical storm or you have a hurricane or the outer edges of a hurricane and the winds coming over the top of the houses. It was very dramatic. And they were like, oh, wow. Okay. So, but, don't panic. It's, not so we're just going to, we are where we're, where we're going to be, I would think, for the rest of the duration of this thing, no matter where it goes. So we'll just watch it together. We'll stay on top of things. We'll continue to share information. And again, I can only assume that you're in a safe place, and if not, you might, if that makes you feel better, go find a place, be with friends, whatever it takes to make you feel comfortable through this thing. I say it every day. I'll say it again now. If you have friends that or single folks, older folks that are by themselves, and they're scared because of what's happening, all they've heard is the word hurricane, and now the winds are blowing, the rain's coming sideways, pick up the phone. Give them a call and just reassure them, hey, I'm here. If you need something, all you got to do is call. I'm just a couple of minutes away. I can be there. Just, make them feel a little bit more at ease with the situation that's at hand. All right. So again, I'll continue to do these periodically. If you want me to, all you have to do is give me a thumbs up, a like. Just let me know, post up and go, yes, we like these. Please do these. Or, hey, get somebody else on there. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but just let me know where you're at on this. And I'll continue to do this because I want to be in touch and I want to know what's going on with you. And I like you sharing your information with me as well. All right. So again, appreciate it. Go out, stay safe. If you don't have to be out on the roads this afternoon, probably not a bad idea just to hang around the house and enjoy the weather, stare out the window, watch things that are going on. And again, remember KFDM.com, fox4beaumont.com, KFDM's Facebook page. Oh, there's one of the grandkids right there who snuck in. Hi, Evan. And you can catch up with what's going on at all those different places. We'll keep you posted throughout the afternoon. I thought I closed that door. All right. We will talk to you again soon. Go out and make it a great day.